Hello, everybody. This is Pastor Willie, and this is the encouraging word for today. I have to give you a warning today. Probably many of you know this already. But once you start following Jesus, everything changes. And I don't mean everything changes for the good in every sense of that word. Yes, everything changes for the good in you, but people around you start to change. The spiritual realities we all deal with, realities of evil, now they start to change drastically against you. Once you follow Jesus, you become a target. Before that, you're just going along with the flow, so to speak. Jesus opens your heart. You've turned to him, and now you're going against the flow. I know some of you have experienced that. If not, all of you should have experienced that. Maybe family members no longer understand you. They want you to continue doing what you used to do, but you've changed. You no longer live that kind of life, and it creates a tension. It's almost as if they want to attack you. And in fact, the Bible makes clear that you then become a target of the enemy. The goal of the enemy is to take you down, to hinder your progress, to stop your progress, and above all, to stop you from spreading your good news with other people. So he attacks you with fear, with discouragement, with all types of temptations, and they seem to come at you from all directions. But Jesus instructs us about what to expect before it happens. When he was training his disciples, he trained them, and then he was getting ready to send them out. But before he sends them out, he instructs them, sort of like a parent when they're instructing their child, when they're finally going to school on their own, no longer being driven there, no longer having the parent take them there, but now they're able to go on the bus or walk on their own. A good parent will instruct them on what to expect. And Jesus is the same. He instructs us on what to expect. And the first thing I note, it's not even really an instruction, it's assumed. It's assumed that they will be going as a team. He sends specifically them 2 by 2, and in every other instance they're together, the 12 of them, or in a group. So they live in a community with other disciples. A Lone Ranger Christian is never going to make it. I need people around me. So I'm part of a group on Thursdays where I meet with other men. I'm part of other groups also. And so I need that around me. Otherwise, I would never make it. And that's key. That's why attending church every week is key, because you won't make it without these basic things. So he's assuming you're doing these basic things. You're on the team. You're not playing one-on-one basketball. You're playing full court, 5-on-5, and you have a bench to help you and a coach to help you also. So we assume that. You can't just apply what I'm going to say now if you're not part of a team, of a body of Christ, physical body of Christ. So in Matthew 10, verse 16 and 17, Jesus gives these instructions. I am sending you out like sheep among wolves. Therefore, be as shrewd as snakes and as innocent as doves. Be on your guard. Sheep, wolves, snakes and doves. That's strange instructions from Jesus. So he says, I am sending you out. I am Jesus, the great I am, the one who has all power, has all authority, the one who is in control, the one who loves us, cares for us. He is the one who we're following. He has our back, so to speak. He's watching us. So he sends us out. So we're going out not in our name, we go out in his name, in his authority, and in his power. Never forget that. We go in his name. In my name, there's no power. In his name, there's all power and authority on heaven and earth. So he's sending us out. That's the goal of the Christian life. Not to stay in, not to be isolated, but to go out into the world. It's just like basic training. You enter the Marines, and then it's time of war. You've had basic training. It's time to go out into the battlefield. And for us, it's time to go out into the battlefield. Too many Christians are just staying in the church, doing church. Jesus never understood what doing church was. It's not about being in church, it's about being empowered in the church so you can go out into the world to impact broken and lost people. I am sending you out. Then here's the instructions. Like sheep among wolves. Get that picture in your mind. Sheep are hungry. They are, what do they call it? Carnivorous beasts. They love a good lamb chop. Roast meat. They love it. They love it. That's why we have shepherds to take care of sheep so the wolves don't come in. But Jesus, wait a minute. You're sending me out like sheep among wolves? That's a scary, scary image. But remember, he's telling us this to be aware of our environment. Be aware there are wolves out there. There's danger, spiritual danger. There's an enemy. There's a battle, a spiritual battle. It's a dangerous and hostile world. But he's going with us, and we have a team with us. So we are aware of the environment we're in. You know how key that is? To be aware and not to just be walking around with your head in the clouds, with your earphones in, whatever you're listening to. You're not aware. He wants us to be aware. You can have your earphones in, listening to whatever you're listening to, but you're aware. Every encounter, every situation, there's potential spiritual danger. So we're aware, not afraid, but we're aware. We're ready. It reminds me of Ephesians chapter 6, verse 10 through 18. And I encourage you to read that today. Paul tells us, what our battle is. It's not against flesh and blood. There's a spiritual battle going on. Therefore, put on your spiritual armor. Pray in the Spirit on all occasions. He gives us specific instructions, which I believe come from what Jesus is saying here. An awareness that we're going out like sheep among wolves. Okay? So we're sheep among wolves. We're sheep. And he says, therefore, in other words, because you're like sheep among wolves, because you're entering a dangerous environment, therefore, be as shrewd as snakes. Shrewd as a snake. I don't know much about snakes, but I looked up that word shrewd. It means crafty. It's the same word in the Greek translation of the Old Testament in Genesis chapter 3, verse 1. It's crafty, clever. The Amplified Version says wary and wise, not gullible, not easily fooled. So you be as crafty as a snake. Doesn't mean not the negative connotations about the snake, but you take the good parts about a snake. Not gullible. You don't believe everything you hear. You don't believe what everything everybody says. Not easily fooled. You're wise. You're aware. You're wary. You're clever. You're crafty, but not in an evil way. So it amplifies the word alert in my mind. So be as shrewd as snakes. And then he adds this in order to clarify the snake part, I believe, and as innocent as doves. So you're crafty, you're shrewd, but you're innocent. Not like a snake who's trying to do something wrong. Of course, that term does have a negative connotation. But you're innocent. So you're crafty, but you're innocent, not in a bad way. And the Amplified, again, sheds more light on that. It says innocent, harmless, guileless, and without falsity. So you're not a snake, but you're as wise as a snake. You're as aware as a snake. You're thinking in that way, not to be fooled, but you're harmless. You're not like a snake. And finally, he sums it all up. Be on your guard. Be on your guard. So, my friends, we've been instructed by Jesus. We're ready to march out. Let's be on our guard. God bless you.